good friend Phil Rivera, pipe maker extraordinaire.
Like the whole Irish nation.
Let's get the party started. Let's get the party started. Let's get the party started. This ain't gonna be a long night though. Wife had to go back out of town again. Good Lord. These dang cigars. It is what it is. Good Lord. tell you, what does it take to get a good ladder these days? It's like it's cold or something. It's like it's cold. I gotta shake it. Good Lord. Click, click. Faulty lighter. Get to work, girl. You know that's right. You got that loud and clear. For real. How's everybody doing? Phil in the house. Ganjawana. WK Piper says, Daddy! Good to see y'all. Donald Graham, good to see you. Big Country Cole, good to see you. DDT, welcome aboard. There's some fans of the there's some fans of the, what is it called? The what the frick are they called? Veterans Day jokes that I had popped in there. I thought those were pretty funny. Got some more coming throughout the rest of the week. Obviously, if you were there on Friday, you remember them. Big Country, too dang cold to smoke is a bunch of bull. I might have to get my Eskimo clothes on. You do it. Get your mucklucks and everything. Did you like the naval one? The naval one was good. D-Man is down in Florida right now. Hustling it up. Daniel Reeves, good to see you, sir. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard.
It's Miller time.
Kinda no. Kinda not. Kinda is, kinda not. hitting the keystone. You like that? You like the wife got the shirt? I was like, love it. Why is there a tent in my room? Does the Air Force just get a bad rap or what is it? I don't know. I don't know if the Air Force gets a bad rap or what. Wife is out of town again till Friday. Oh, I'm sorry, Thursday night. So she might even be here Thursday night. I've actually got the heater over here because I don't care how much noise it causes. It's flipping cold. So it is what it is. I'm good with it. I've got no problems. I feel like my mic's a little hot. Is anybody else getting that? That the mic's just a bit hot? I don't know. You let me know. Is it a bit hot? If so, I can get that. I can crank it down a bit. Yeah. Wow.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
So is this going to be the downfall of crypto? I have been going down the crypto rabbit hole. I know some people that do crypto and they're very, very successful at it. And it's just so foreign to me. Like it's like, man, it's like the whole concept and everything about it is just so foreign to me. Let me punch this up a little bit. There we go. Yeah, that's a little better. I think that's what happened is that some of these actually I think some of some of my metrics or whatever, my what are they called? Not without a tutu. Some of my metrics on the board, I think got adjusted. I must have alternated between something or whatever it was that I did to turn down some of my things. I mean, there are no guarantees with crypto because that junk is massively unregulated. But I saw how, is it MTX? FTX, whatever that company is. I don't know a lot about crypto. But FTX apparently screwed the pooch, but they apparently were all screwing the same pooch, just passing it around. That's a horrific analogy, but seems like that's what was doing. Ganj, I got a feeling like it might drop further. Yeah, might as well go outside anyways, Cole. But it feels like a major Enron, or who was that guy that ran the big Ponzi scheme? My wife always knows this. I never know this. I forget the guy's name. Madoff. Bernie Madoff. I finally remembered it. So I think it might go. Gaj, I think there's a chance in a worst case scenario, it could probably go down to 6K, which would be kind of pre-pandemic level. I think it was at like 4 or 5K. 2019. But apparently what I've come to realize is that crypto is just a bunch of nerds, computer nerds, getting together playing a video game. I feel like that's really all it is. And a ton of people are losing money on this, like BlackRock, or like the guy, not Mark Cuban, but the other guy from Shark Tank, now calling for regulations and everything. And I'm like, oof. If you lost that much money, then yeah, you're having a bad day, from what I can tell. I don't know though. I don't know. I think it's a hot mess. I can say that. Majorly a hot mess. But today is November 14th, and my website that I like to use actually updated the information, so I'm excited about that. So the word of the day, and I will write down whoever uses the best sentence for the word of the day. The word of the day is rhubarb. 1. Background noise of several conversations, none of which are decipherable since all of the actors are actually just repeating the word rhubarb. So rhubarb. Chosen because it contains no very sharp or recognizable phonemes. Basically in Great Britain, the second definition of this would just be like blah, 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 blah. They don't want it regulated, Phil. They want that right to privacy. They want that anonymity. I'm surprised I said that word right. Quote for the day is looking for a friend. Absolutely, looking for a friend. Let's see. Today is, for all you feminines out there, I can't change your mind, Ganj, because I don't think rhubarb pie is good anyways. International Girls Day. And not to trump International Girls Day, but something that girls obviously often use, it is also International Selfie Day. It's Loosen Up, Lighten Up Day. Hey, get that corn cob out of your ass. Yep. National American Teddy Bear Day. National Family PJ Day. Is that like when they take the picture like at Christmas time and they're all in their little same PJs? Oh. John Galdier. I feel like my mic is just way too hot. I'm going to crank that down a bit. There we go. I feel like that's better. I'm hitting between the lines. Everything's good there between the lines. Okay. It is what it is. I just want to make sure that I'm not just blowing everybody's eardrums out. Okay. John, do you do much in the crypto space? Family Walmart Day. Yikes. Wow. That could be painful. I still feel like this mic is too hot. Let's go down to 36. There we go. All right, so that 36 feels like it's a little bit better. We slaughter our own hamburgers. Never traded crypto. Yeah, John, I've got some guys that are really hard trying to get me into it. And I'm not gonna lie, they're making a killing. And it's like a big Ponzi scheme. National Pickle Day. I like some pickles. Pickles are delicious. Pickles are delicious, and I love them. I do. I love them. I think pickles are delicious. Let's see what we got. I mean, are you more of a dill pickle or like bread and butter sweet pickle? I can tell you right now, the only time I eat a sweet pickle is on like a Cracker Barrel chicken salad sandwich, because they've got the best sourdough bread and best bread and butter pickles. Cole, that's what I'm saying. Now, it's also National Guacamole Day and Spicy Guacamole Day. To dill or no dill? That is the question, DDT. I gotta say, I'm not I love spicy stuff, but I'm not a spice person with my guac unless maybe there's some some chilies in there or something. It is Operating Nurse Day. Thank you, all you nurses out there. The Spirit of NSA Day, National Speakers Association Day, for all you out there that like to have a word. Ganj, it's crazy. Like the fact that you can go down to 9 decimal places on crypto just kind of bothers me. But I get it. If you go from 0.000000001 to 0.1, you probably made a few $100s. Mm-hmm. I mean, because at that point, just every crypto that's out there that's at a 0.0 nothing, buy $100 worth. Not financial advice, I'm just saying, like in just hypothetical terms, buy $100 worth, and if it goes up 100 to 1,000 times, I mean, how freaking ridiculous would that be? John, I hear you, but it's like, and people were wondering why FTX was able to give their users returns of 8%. And then, of course, they were just kind of passing it around, like all the money invested. They were just kind of passing around these different companies. Apparently, they didn't have any of that money. That's why you got to audit Sarnes-Baines-Oxley. John, you know socks. World Diabetes Day, for all you out there that like your sweets. It is also World Orphans Day. Be praised, all you adopters out there. and bless all those little hearts, those little orphan hearts. But yeah, it's absolutely crazy. It sounds like such a Ponzi scheme. Phil, it's ridiculous. Pickled peppers are good. Where's Peter Piper? I don't know. We should have a Peter Piper. I would say a Peter Piper would be welcomed. For sure. Since he likes dill. And they gotta be Clausen. They seriously do have the crunch. I like the crunch. I don't like a floppy pickle. Not a floppy pickle kind of guy. Well, you take the good with the bad, Phil. Let's see. Holidays this week. Let's see. American Education Week, International Fraud Awareness Week, National Global Entrepreneurship Week, National Hunger and Homeless Awareness Week. Those are all good. I'm good with all those. Did you know you could buy precious metals off of Walmart.com? Of course, it comes out of a major, like, precious metals retailer, but I thought it was funny. I saw that on Walmart. I guess the nice thing about that is the fact that you don't have to do an account with one of those types of whatchamacallits, the metal retailers, wholesalers, whatever. You have almost 500 million shares of Shiba. That just seems weird. That seems weird to say, but I don't doubt it. But I mean, why not? They go to zero. Okay, if you're out like $50, who gives a crap? Shiba to the moon. American baseball player and sportscaster Curt Schilling's birthday, 1966, on today. God, you never know. Hold it. Just hold the heck out of it. Interesting. 1996, American musician Michael Jackson married Debbie Rowe. Fascinating. Everybody's talking about, for this week, trying to go gluten-free. Yerk. Lifetime supply of cat food. On this day in 1680, the Great Comet of 1680 is discovered by German astronomer Gottfried Kirch and is the first comet discovered using a telescope. There we go. When was the last time Halley's Comet was around? Is Halley's Comet coming around anytime soon? Let's see. In 1910, oh, here we go. In 1851, Herman Melville's novel Moby Dick is published in the United States. Very good. Classic. Willie, welcome aboard, sir. Good to have you. Good to see you. Always nice to have you around. Also in 1910, pilot Eugene Burton Eli performs the first takeoff from a ship in Hampton Roads, Virginia. Fascinating. Very, very fascinating. Oh, in 1969, NASA launches Apollo 12 before the infamous Apollo 13. There you go, 1970. Almost all of the Marshall University football team are... no, that's a terrible story. There was a flight 932. You look it up if you want to. I'm not having anything negative today on my show. In 1971, Mariner 9 enters the orbit around Mars. Fascinating. Very fascinating. On this day in music, Georgia, Georgia. In 1960, Georgia on My Mind by Ray Charles hits number 1 in the U.S. Where are you getting back into, Willie? What's the occasion, sir? Where were you out of? I guess would be the next question. Also in 1962, Don't Think Twice, It's All Right by Bob Dylan is recorded. 1983, the 14-minute film Thriller by Michael Jackson debuts at the Metro Crest Theater in Los Angeles. Nice. On this day in sports, this is more Willie's speed. Top is notorious for reverse splits until investors are broke every single year. Interesting. Don't think I've heard of Top. Penny stocks, baby. Penny stocks. Living the dream. Let's see. In 1993, Dale Earnhardt wins the 43rd NASCAR Sprint Cup. Okay. Good with that. I always find it odd when I find out my German family, on my wife's side, watches NASCAR. It cracks me up. Oh, Phil. Bad joke alert. Here we go. They're all tankers. 1966, Muhammad Ali TKOs Cleveland Williams in 3 rounds for the heavyweight title. And in this corner... You know what Dale Earnhardt and Pink Floyd have in common? Is it The Wall? Are you going to say The Wall? Because I know this one. Oh my gosh.
How about new?
Improbability drive. Giveth and taketh away. 1957, Hank Aaron of the Milwaukee Braves wins the National League MVP. And in 1888, St. Andrews Golf Club in Yonkers, New York opens with just 6 holes. You ever heard somebody ever do that? Just open up with just 6 holes? Whew, that's a party. Very nice, very nice. It is chilly out. I'll say that. Dang chilly out. I'm going to check out the blob. Oh. There's a whole YTPC directory. How many names we got? Who the hell is Gingerbread Piper? I must see this person. Oh, definitely understood. Absolutely understood. 'Tis a ginger, indeed. Hasn't been around for 2 years. Red beans and rice lieurs. Didn't he do something with red beans previously? It's a redhead. 'Tis a redhead indeed. I'm freezing my Cajuns off. All right. We might have to do a quick Zoom there, Phil, so we can see how much you're freezing your Cajuns off. Welcome once a week, blob readers and regulars. Can you even believe November is halfway over? I can. Maybe because I'm back on a somewhat normal schedule and trying to shred through this backlog. Time is flying. Yep. Bean Street 16's got has up at eBay. He's got some pipes. Very good. People are quick to tell you what would be great content and what you should do. They, of course, usually don't understand all of the work that goes into some of this stuff. That's not their fault, but it's not their time or money. After all that, it usually results in laying a big egg. I know that. What happened here? I shouldn't say, let's see. If you don't know, he's listed under Briar Guy on that website. It's hard to search, blah, blah, blah. I used to have an eBay affiliate. What a step I was. I shouldn't say that. You never know what will work and what won't unless you try. I shotgun a lot of stuff just to see if it's what people want. One thing I have learned, and it can be a lesson to any of you content creators out there, don't go by what people... That's a fact. Don't go by what anybody says. Somebody tells you to do something some way. I mean, it's always good to listen to the feedback, but, I mean, just do what you like.
Fellow pipe smokers.
Enjoy yourself.
Hope everyone's doing well. It's
Matthew
here from Picking and Piping.
Good to see you, sir. Hopefully you're feeling. Hope you're feeling better. Thank you. Appreciate you stopping by. I love these types of pipes, which I call shop pipes. I'm not going to put them on a nice pipe rack, but I can't live without them. Very good. Figgy pudding. Is it time for figgy pudding? What is figgy pudding? Is it literally just like fig pudding? I'm not sure I know. What's up with the country squire, like going all over the place? Like that's another random thing. Like I've never seen, like I didn't know that they even traveled around and did anything. I don't know. Maybe I should. Hoping to expand horizons. One of these years I'm going to have an idea that will actually work, and when it happens, you'll be able to say, I used to read that guy way back when he was a little more sucky than he is now. Oh, okay. Wow. I don't think that's a problem. 10 beds is getting a little shallow. Getting a little shallow on the 10 beds. Oh, some old Toby. That's awesome. I love that. Some old Toby. A dense bread fruit with fruit chunks. Got it. I know, Troy. I don't have a motorboat. You know what? I wonder if I can do a motorboat. Let me, no, I don't have one. No, that's not a motorboat. I don't have it yet, Troy. I'm working on it. This Friday, Troy. Should hopefully have it by this Friday. I don't know how it's going to go. The wife's gone all week, so I'm in charge. I've been in charge for the majority of this family every single week. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, whole 9 yards. It has been a disaster. But the boy's a champ. We watched The Goonies tonight. And no lie, I kid you not. I kid you not one iota. At the very end, the boy is jumping up on the couch, screaming, yes, and super excited. Like he was just, I have never seen him react to a movie like that. He was so excited that they were able to get out of there and everything was good. And then he was so sad about the fact that they were going to lose their home. And then Maria or whatever her name was, oh, Dios mío. Found that you know what? I was kind of worried that he might not take to it. Cause again, there's a lot of stuff that goes on in there. It's not the technically most kid friendly movie, but he was absolutely tickled by it. He loved that movie. He's like, is there a second one? I was like, I don't think so. And even if there was, I don't think so. Oh, there's some pelican. Gray Havens. This is kind of what I figured I'd see on here. Old original warehouse blend. Director's cut. Fascinating. That's a very in-depth description there, Phil. Yep, nothing to write home about there. That's all right. That's all right. I'm game for it. What we got in the house? Anybody want to jump on a Zoom for a few? Anybody game? That was 10 bids, Phil. That was 10 bids. Whew, man, my hip is... Got a little twinge. Got a bit of a twinge. Now this music is cranked up a little bit. Bring it down a hair. Go for it. All right, let's go for it. Zoom. I really need to clean up outside. That means I move this over here. And join with computer. Fix this because I need to do that. Bam. Boom. Pow. All right. There's the link. Bring it on in. Motorboat. I saw that. Funny guy. Hop on in. So I can stop looking at myself. And my hair's nice today. Bust out the wavy hair thing. Willie, that's one of the weirdest things in the world is to have long hair at some point. Because I know your hair's a bit long. But to have long hair and then at some point cut that stuff. And then it's just like trying to remember not to kick that hair out of your head, out the side of your face. Phil's phone might be frozen too. I know that's a fact. We got a good old Phil jumping on. Got a daggum uneven cigar. Phil, how are you, sir? Oh yeah, everybody's on mute when they come in just because sometimes people are a little loud. How you doing, Phil? Are you still muted? You can't be unmuted.
No.
Oh, okay. I thought you were signing me because I was like, Phil, I don't. No comprehendo. No. Which doesn't mean anything except I'm a stupid person. How are things going, my friend?
Frigid.
Frigid. How cold is it over there?
It's gotta be mid upper 30s right now.
Yikes.
In the center of California.
Well, the good thing is y'all can't turn on electricity.
Oh, wait, I'm gonna get fined.
Tell them it's for environmental purposes.
Well, I'm an ordained minister, so I can have a fireplace here, and I can have, it's religious reasons.
There you go.
Oh, I'm looking at me. I'm wearing 3 shirts.
You're like an onion. You have layers.
And a barn coat.
You definitely have layers, my friend.
And I'm wearing thermals.
Oh, there you go. That'll do it. Yeah, Willie, that in between stage on the hair growing is it's a little. I mean, it ain't terrible, but it's just.
I used to have hair longer than Willie's. Problem is my hair is curly. So
Oh,
You
you had the
get tired.
Goldilocks going.
yeah, I get tired of it.
I mean, that's okay. Anything you been up to lately? Anything new? Did you have a good weekend?
Only just short of 6 feet because they stack shit that high now.
Wow. Okay. Yikes. You need to get you a little get you one of those not propane heaters. I mean, you can do one of those too, but get one of those get a fire pit out there.
Yeah, my buddy next door has a fire pit, but he's out of town tonight.
Yeah, I'd just drag it over. Tell
Well,
him,
no, it's a fire pit.
oh, like
Dug with-
it's a full
dug with
actual
a
pit.
Kubota. Yeah.
Okay. It's not one of those Home Depot pits. Got it. Understood.
No, it's a pit, and it's lined with logs as seats that we cut a tree down.
Willie, I'm the same way. We're about to have to buy another car because I'm going to have to turn in my company car. I have not been getting enough travel miles on it.
Oh, don't say that shit. my truck will hear you, and I'll end up dropping another $708,000 to get to pass smog in the next few months.
I mean, my daughter's car, which is my old car when we lived in Florida, she, like it's just a little Nissan Sentra, like 1999 or something. No, 2009. And I'm like, I've probably put $5,000 into the thing in the past 2 years. Changed 3 transmissions because Nissan has terrible transmissions with SVT transmission. Changed out all kinds of brackets, shocks, tires. I mean, I was like, pretty much rebuilt it.
Nissan seems to be like engine mounts, motor mounts.
Whole 9 yards, everything. They had I had a motor mount that was cracked, so it was rattling like crazy, and just so many little things. I mean, it's just an old car.
But the Corollas and the Sentras, I mean, back in the day, I mean, those bastards just keep going and going and going.
Yeah, well, I mean, so did the Lexuses, like those little 4-door Lexuses.
Yeah.
Those things, I mean, like, those things seemed like they were worth every penny.
I mean, Lexus is Toyota, so.
Oh, yeah, that's true. And Land Rover, too, isn't it? I think Toyota owns Land Rover, too.
Yeah, Toyota owns Land Rover, yeah.
Because that was the thing.
Land Rover, the model of the Toyota, that's like their high end.
Yep, because it was that Toyota, is it the Toyota 4Runner that had the same kind of suspension system as the Land Rover, I think it was?
I don't know about the suspension, but the 4Runner, that's been around since, this 80s.
Yep. It was the only other car that had a roll-down back window that I knew of. I only knew of 2 that had roll-down back windows.
I mean, originally they were like, in 87 or something, whatever they first came out, they were like the old Scout 2s. They had you could remove the top.
Yep. Don't be scared, Willie. Come on in here if you want to say Lexi, the plural for Lexus. I'd love to hear that roll off your tongue. You probably will never hear me say that again either, Willie. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that little Texas pipe show, that was a tiny one, wasn't it? Saw a few pictures of that.
See, I don't see. Usually you have your screen up. I don't.
You don't see me?
No, I see you. Usually you have the chat screen up, and I'm not seeing that you changed something.
Oh, we only did that one time because because Chad wasn't able to see Patrick and Patrick wasn't able to see Chad.
I can't see Daniel. I see Daniel on my live chats.
You can't see DDT?
I can see DDT. I can't see Daniel,
Wait a minute, which one's Daniel?
the Canadian trucker.
Is there a Canadian trucker in the chat? Who's the Canadian trucker?
Daniel.
I understand that. What's his
Well, Billy knows him is Daniel has he always has questions, and they're always good questions.
Oh, Daniel Leslie.
Yeah, Daniel Leslie.
I haven't seen him in here. Yeah, he always does have pretty good questions. I haven't seen him in here. He's always got questions that are way over my head.
In my lives, I can see him, but anyone else's chat, I can't see him.
He's not in here. At least I haven't seen him. Got it. Daniel Leslie is a trucker. He's one of them Canadian protesters.
Yeah. running for the Freedom Bridge.
Troy's a trucker. Honk for McFly. Got a horn, McFly.
Your kids still do that when you're past truckers?
Little
They
man
sit in the
always
back,
does
like
it.
this, truckers.
Every time we're on the road, it's like a bomb goes off on an anthill. All of a sudden, he's got the window down. He's like, "Woo!" And I mean, he's like arms full. I'm like, get your ass in this car, and I'm just jerking him down. He gets excited, but he's a car kid.
When we were kids, I mean, sitting in the back of my stepfather's Datsun King Cab pickup, 1979.
Nice.
Look out the back of the camper cover and go like this to the loggers, and they would honk. My stepfather would damn near drive off the road every time.
I had a buddy of mine that had I forget what it was. I think it was a Tahoe or something like that. And one of the things we used to like to do is we used to stick PA systems like in our grills of our trucks and stuff like that. And so we would talk smack to people like around us. He got the bright idea in his Tahoe, and I don't remember how he did this, but he had to have an air compressor and like a couple other things, and he put a train horn. And like when it went off, I've seen videos of somebody else do this on YouTube. Little man showed me this too, but I can tell you, like when you hear that reverberate off concrete, like it's like a concussive force in your chest. You feel the pressure that just got built up on that. And he would just go, "Woo!" And everybody would be like, "Oh my God." Like, I mean, the windows would shake on a car.
You remember those old sirens that they were air powered, like the air raid sirens?
Yep. And they would wind up.
Yeah, my brother had one of those when he was SP in the Air Force off a Humvee they rolled over or something. He gave it to me. I hooked that to the motion detector on my Firebird Formula. Someone would break in my car and go, "Ooh," and it'd stop and go, "Ooh," and then it'd fire up, you know. Yeah, you hear that one.
Troy, don't tell McFly you got a train horn, because he would be so excited. I decided, since McFly is such a retro kid, which I'll show a little if I've got a video out here of him.
We'll have to purchase or machine up a steam whistle for him.
Oh, he would go nuts. He'd probably stick it on his bed.
Yeah.
Make it his freaking alarm clock. Since he's such an 80s kid, and since he does love arcades, we've decided to deck out his room and everything with some arcade 1-ups. Damn, I don't have any of his videos. I've got it on the other hard drive. And so he takes so we have both cameras, because one of the things that he wanted for his birthday, he said he skipped having a party. He skipped going to Disney. He wanted a YouTube setup to where he could record his own little YouTube gaming videos. I said, okay. I said, here's the rule. You're never allowed to read chat, and you're never allowed to do lives until you are a grown ass man. And for me, I was, people were asking me, they're like, why in the world would you do that? And I said, because I ignored social media and all the things out there with my daughter and just attempted to deny it and deny the access. But as we all know, kids are going to get in to whatever shit you don't want them to get into. and therefore that negatively impacted her. So I decided that the second route I was going to do. Hey, Patrick, good to see you. The second route I was going to pursue was to actually help him navigate it. And so we are in the kiddie pool right now, learning to splash. And because in my mind, if he's going to do it anyways, because of course all of his friends already do it. He's going to do it anyways. If I can assist him in navigating it and make him more focused on something that he's doing versus what everybody else is doing, then I feel like it's less likely for him to get consumed into it like my daughter did.
Yeah, go trailblazer, forge your own path. Don't get caught up in peer pressure.
Correct. And so, James, good to see you, sir. Welcome aboard.
As long as he doesn't want to do lives, Arkansas style or Alabama style, in the pool with the electric heater,
right?
Around
or trying to make NyQuil chicken.
Yeah.
Freaking morons.
Oh my God.
Just look, here's the thing. I am tired of the censorship because as far as I'm concerned, it's getting to a point of you're just blocking natural selection. And I thought we were supposed to trust the science.
Yeah. Well, science is, that definition is kind of up in the air anymore.
Well, yeah, that's definitely
we know
true.
what we thought it was, but this generation apparently doesn't agree with that.
But so what we have is the camera that I have right here does a long form shot behind him at an angle and shows like a corner, the wall, and shows like his big computer monitor and everything, and shows the back of him. And he'll turn and he'll introduce himself for the video. Then he'll swap to the camera that Derek uses, which is actually it's right in front of him to his right. So if my camera's behind him to his back right shoulder, the other camera's to his front right shoulder. And he has the best possible YouTube setup I've ever seen, because a long time ago, he wanted what was called a slide bed. I don't know if y'all remember this story, but he wanted a slide bed. And you can buy them like pre-manufactured or whatever. And they're death traps. I told the wife absolutely not. So we made him a real. Hey Glenn, good to see you.
Kind of a big deal.
So we made him a real slide bed.
Smells of rich mahogany.
A buddy of mine who's an engineer had already done a loft bed for his kid, so I just customized those plans to fit what I wanted, and including an extension to actually have a slide. So he gets on the foot of his bed and he can slide straight down. And it's a full loft bed. And I measured it. I specifically measured. This is how nerdy I get, and this is why it takes my plans so long to get anything done. Is I actually measured myself on what the height of the bottom of the bed has to be for me to clear while sitting in a desk chair. Because I said he's going to grow in it. And so the bed is, we don't have high ceilings or anything. We got 1980 ceilings. And so the bed is close to the ceiling. He can still sit up now. I cannot sit up in his bed. My wife can barely sit up in his bed. But the reality is it's just for sleeping. So we're like, whatever. So I got a wooden rail around it and everything. It's a very nice bed. I mean, like the ladder.
I do agree with you on the point of kids are going to do what they want to do. It triggered a memory. Just 2-3 weeks ago, maybe just before Vegas, I saw a notification that someone that hasn't done a YouTube YTPC video in years popped up. And I looked, and apparently it's like 13, 14-year-old son. I'm live, and he's recording his video game. I was like,
oh gosh.
Tonight.
There we go. Ron, good to see you. And so the bed that I constructed, I mean, like even the for instance, the ladder is 4x4 posts that are, lag bolted onto the bed frame that hold up the corner. It's lag bolted to the walls. There's a railing that I made that goes around it where I drilled, and the dowel rods are actually fully in to the bed runners. And the runners are, I mean, they're an inch and a half thick. Like, I mean, like my father's like, do you really need it? I said, well, to construct what I'm going to, yes. Because I'm going to guarantee this thing is not going to ever fall apart. I mean, even the dowels that I used are 1.5 inch oak that run in between the ladder to climb up that thing. I mean, we have gotten myself, my wife, the boy, and Haley up there, and it doesn't even creak. It's basically its own little mini house. So his desk is directly under the bed, and he has a little couch behind him right now. And his
you got it set up like one of those 70s, 80s kind of like modular, cool things.
Oh man, it is rock solid. I love that bed. And he like his desk is right underneath it. He's got a couch behind him, like the slide would be right in front of him. And he's got key lights on there. I mean, he's completely decked out. He's got his little mic. He's got his laptop, just like mine, sitting right there, the old one. He's got his big monitor, and all he does is record his Nintendo Switch games because the laptop's not powerful enough for what he does. But everything looks so cool, and I told the wife, I said, let's finish. We thought about a bunch of different things we want to do. We wanted to get like neon signs under there, different little stuff, just to decorate and have a ball with it. Because again, if he spends a lot of time learning how to code, process videos, edit, all kinds of stuff like that, and he learns to love it, great. If he doesn't learn to love it, great, because I still use all the same equipment. But
all you gotta do now is set up like a little oval track on the canopy where you can have a GoPro rotate around.
Oh yeah, for sure. We haven't gotten that far. But one of the cool things we decided to go ahead and do, I'm like, he's an 80s kid. He loves, the Ghostbusters. He loves the like, he's not big into the video games, but he loves arcades. And so they make these little things called arcade 1-ups, which are like not miniature versions. They're 3/4 scale. So like a 3/4 pool table. It's like a 3/4 scale version of the real like 90s arcades, like The Simpsons and stuff like that. And so I'm just gonna put those under his bed, and he can turn around while what he's doing, and he can turn around and sit there and play, and the other camera can look at him, and he can do whatever. It's like, I'm like, kid, you have the coolest. I'll have to send you a picture though of his setup, because I did a great job. Phil, you'd be proud. I nailed the rule of thirds. I nailed the rule of thirds on it. I don't even think I have. I wonder if I have a picture on my phone, because I honestly think I nailed the rule of thirds with this one.
Yeah, not too many people are aware of the golden scale or the rule of thirds, and usually most people, there were artists or photographers that were originally aware of that.
Absolutely. And
obviously the Greeks were aware of it. You look at their architecture.
For sure. I'm gonna see if I can find that picture. I'm gonna email it to myself.
Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I've got kidneys the size of a chipmunk.
Good Lord. How's everybody doing tonight? My lady installed a fire pole in the house a few weeks ago because their kids thought it would be cool, and said inside upstairs closet to closet. Wow. I'm gonna see if I can get this picture. Nope. Got that picture somewhere. And my buddy is like, he's super jealous because the kid's setup looks so freaking cool that it's like, oh, like it makes me like, I'm like, I like that. I think that looks cool. I wonder if I can find it. That's not it. I know I texted it to him somewhere. And he was like, that's awesome. And I thought so too. I was enamored about the whole thing. I was like, this is great. I was like, I've never seen such a thing. Yeah, he probably did go put another coat on. I don't doubt that for an instant. That he possibly did that. And so my buddy is like decking out his whole place too. After he saw that, he was like, ooh, I'm gonna do something like that. I said, do it. I said, what you waiting on?
Okay.
Let's see if I can
So
find
where's the chat? Where is Glenn? Where is Chad? Well, I know Chad was feeling a little under the weather, but where's Roberto?
Where's Roberto? I don't know where he's at.
Where's Patrick? Boris? Any of you? Pop into the chat.
Yeah, I mean, he's telling y'all. I'll have to find that picture because it was such a cool picture. Because I was like, man, that just nails it. Like everything about it, I was like, yes. I was like, the kid's he's got the legit setup.
My twin daughters are grown. They'll be here in the next week or so. Amy's bringing the grandchildren, and both of them are bringing their husbands. About a mile and a half, 2 miles from me. They'll be staying at a B&B, so I'll have about 4 or 5 days with them. But yeah, I'm envious because I've thought about building these things, but I was like, yeah, I can do it, but who's gonna pay for the shipping? You know?
Yeah, and that's no joke. That is not.
I mean, even if I made a lamp, the shipping would be ridiculous.
Oh, all of it's insane. Like the whole process for all of it is ridiculous.
No,
Like,
but when you finish it, you realize it wasn't that hard. It's robust. It's gonna last damn near forever.
oh, the rest of the house is gonna fall down before. Oh, there's Glenn.
Yeah.
The rest of the house. Sorry, Glenn. That's my fault. The rest of the house would fall down before the bed that we put up did. In fact, I think it probably holds up part of the bed.
Hey, Glenn.
Glenn, you're on mute, sir. It just mutes everybody when they come in.
G'day.
There he
G'day.
is. He's true blue, baby.
Crikey.
How you going, all right? What's going on?
We're just hanging out. Boy, you got the professional headset going.
I've been mucking around down the workshop cleaning up, and the vacuum cleaner can get a bit loud, so I have some music playing.
Makes sense.
So yeah, I'm working on a little something for a little someone, and it was one hell of a mess. So I decided to clean up.
None of that was vague at all, Glenn. Appreciate
Made a
that.
little mess for the blankety blank.
Well, I don't know whether this particular person is watching, and he doesn't know he's getting something.
Oh, there we go.
Well, we know it's a he because you just spilled that bean.
Well, I'm presuming it's a he.
Well, that narrows it down for sure.
I could be, assuming a whole lot here.
Well, we wouldn't want you to do that, Glenn. Now, would we?
Oh no.
I mean,
Definitely
anytime
not.
Phil asks you to get on, you know that it's just going to be completely tame and no reveals or anything like that. I mean, that's normal.
No,
What do you
one
want
thing
to
I respect is reveals. I don't reveal anything that doesn't want revealed.
Respect the reveal.
And
Oh
Glenn,
no, it's
he hasn't told me who it is, so I have no freaking idea anyway.
it's nice to surprise someone with a little something every now and then, and Phil does it all the time, so I'm doing it.
I mean, I
Yeah.
love it every time I see
My
that
first
stuff.
shot at being an influencer.
Well, okay. I have one superpower, and that's making square shit round.
Wow.
So that's what I do.
I love it.
I think I told. I finally had an epiphany. I think I told Glenn and Mike and the other guys a month or two back. I finally realized after all these years why I hate making bulldog pipes. because I'm making square shits. I mean, perfectly square to drill it and everything. Then I'm putting it on lathe, making it round, and then I'm making it freaking square again.
Well, you're just double handling stuff, Phil. That's a personal issue.
Yeah, the efficiency. I was like,
Y'all keep talking. I'm gonna go grab that hard drive. that I
and my
was
work
looking
triangle
for
is
the boy.
20 by 60.
I'll be right back.
Epitome of efficiency.
Y'all go ahead. Don't say any crap that's gonna get me banned, Phil.
Notice he said you, Phil.
I'll wait till you get back and then we'll go for it.
Yeah, you can drop all the F-bombs you want. I caught. Is he making like a bedroom suite for Junior or something? Is he?
Yeah, and he said slide bed. I think he means sleigh bed.
Oh, I don't know. If
Sleigh
it is
bed,
what I think it is, it's like a
board and the footboard that were curved outward like a sleigh. I think
Or
that's
is
what
it-
he's talking about. But it sounds like a
Like
70-80 modular bunk bed.
like a raised bed with a desk and stuff underneath.
Yeah,
Is that what you're talking about?
I think that's what he is.
'Cause I caught the beginning of it, or the end of it, I should say, just before I jumped on Zoom.
Yeah, I'm thinking he means sleigh bed. And he's calling it slide bed. I'm not sure because he did
Oh,
mention
okay.
something about a track, something. Maybe I misheard.
All right, I'm
I
back.
don't know.
1 second.
Yeah, I
Not as
need a
flexible as I
microphone
used to
like need a microphone like Martin's because it makes him sound all low and bassy and cool and stuff.
We're having a debate, Martin.
Yeah.
Is it a slide bed, or a slide bed, or is it a sleigh bed?
Oh, his actual, like, the bed that he sleeps in?
Yeah.
It's a loft bed. So it's
Loft bed.
It's a full loft bed. It's like probably very much akin to what you would expect in like a college dorm, but much higher off the ground. Like, again, his desk goes all the way under it. I probably have a picture of that too.
Mm-hmm.
That I can pull as soon as I find one.
Thank you for McFly, is it?
Like the last picture you couldn't pull.
I've found one of his videos.
Is that for McFly, is it?
Yeah. He's a little maniac.
How old is he now?
Fall far from the tree.
How old is McFly?
He is 9.
9. They grow fast from there.
You got that right.
Oh, we're getting shut down already.
Oh, well. That's all right. I can't have late nights. Let's see. Can
There's
I
Roberto.
share?
Might have to go into overtime.
Mr. Lancero.
We can possibly go over time. Here's what his screen looks like. So y'all can see it.
Oh, wow.
There we
He
go.
is kitted out.
Cool. Wow. I think he's
He's
got
got more toys than I ever did when I was his age. Got the 4K camera going on.
Leave me alone, Dad. I'm broadcasting.
Yeah, that's his little setup. Now this is the other angle. And again, the audio is missing because it's multi-tracked audio, so it doesn't. And so this is him waiting for the game. And so he'll record gameplay.
So just so I understand this right, he's recording himself playing a game and then putting it on what, Twitch?
We would put it on YouTube.
Or YouTube.
Yeah. But I mean, like, to me, I just love the way it looks.
It's got a fantastic look. That camera is sweet.
Which the camera that he has right there. Oh, you know what? I need to bring this over here. Whoops. Dang it.
I wish I had parents when I was that age that invested that much in me.
I forgot I wasn't showing everybody else.
But yeah, I mean, he's got a computer guru for a father, so.
Yeah.
Well, he's got a father that has went through a lot of the growing pains of having to learn how to use equipment.
And I'm assuming none of this is Dell equipment.
Actually, no, he's using the old laptop.
Okay.
But I mean, I love it. Like the whole thing just kind of cracks me up. He's made quite a few different videos. And I mean, they just look good.
Right. You hear that bird in the background?
Yep. And what's even cooler is just kind of watching him, like when he switches over. Let's see if I can pull it. Yeah, when like that angle right there, I told him, I said that would be a cool just angle like for like a gaming channel right there. Like it kind of blurs out stuff that would get copyrighted or whatever. And I could probably have it switched to where it would focus on the monitor and everything. And I'm like, you got kind of a picture-in-picture you could do right there, dude.
Well, I got a screenshot of that screen right there. So the next time I do a live, he's gonna be the portrait.
He'll love it. He's got his nice Hawaiian shirt on and everything. But I mean, it's cool. Like his setup. I mean, he has a full camera, and he likes to do his close-ups too. But I mean, he looks good even in this camera with his picture-in-picture.
Got some big ass feet on him.
Oh, that dude for sure.
What kind of cameras are you? What kind of cameras he got?
He actually uses both of my cameras that I use for my live stream at the Sony A6100s.
Okay, right.
And so they both have Sigma lenses on them. Mine has a Sigma 30, and the other one has a Sigma 16. So, and that's the one that is right in front of him to the right is the Sigma 16. This one is the one that's back behind him to the right.
30 is fairly wide angle. 16 millimeter would be a really wide angle.
Whoops, I didn't mean to stop sharing. I meant to put in another image because we have quite a and so this is, so let me pop up.
He ain't shy at all, is he?
He ain't shy. He's just like me. So this is the camera that's typically the picture-in-picture.
Yeah.
And so, and yeah, this kid don't care. And so the other camera is hanging right here to the left of that. And so he is sitting under his bed.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the trick of it. And oh, he's even showing stuff off. Funny kid.
I mean, back in the 70s, if I was sitting under my bed, I would have been hunched over.
Yeah, I mean he has a ball with it. Like I love Patrick, did any of y'all see that? He is using a very, very nice microphone. He is using a Willet 350, I believe, which is a very man, it's just a really good mic. Let's see. Or not Willet. What is it called? Hold on a second. I'll tell you exactly what it is. It is an amazing microphone, and they're very inexpensive. It's a ultra large diaphragm condenser. And it's let's see.
I had a girlfriend like that once. An ultra large.
Wow!
diaphragm.
Yikes! Oh boy!
Wow! And you were worried about me, Martin.
I'm never worried about you, Glenn. It's a Lewitt. I'm sorry, not Willet. A Lewitt. It's a Lewitt 440, and they're about $370. But I mean, to most people that sounds ridiculously expensive. But I'm like, look,
not in the world of microphones, they're not.
No, and it's a very good microphone for sure. But the Lewitt LCT 440 is what he uses, and that
Back
sucker.
in our day, we were lucky to have a condenser microphone.
You got that right. Well, I mean, I like this freaking Neumann M107 or whatever the crazy multi-pattern. I mean, that's all Steve between that and the Apollo interface and everything. I mean, that's his. That's that's obviously this is not going in the boy setup, but still,
that's so much cooler than one of those sorry ass NASCAR.
I know, but I thoroughly enjoy it. He sounds good on it. I've got again some of his stuff I have to tweak. He got so upset because he recorded like an hour-long video and the audio from what he was recording and his mic were off, and because I didn't have them on separate tracks at the time, I couldn't do anything to sync them back, because I record multi-track on mine, and I should have had his set up that way, and I didn't, and he was so furious he had to redo it. I said, pal, hey, welcome aboard. I was like, what do you think it's like recording original content, man? You'll have to retake stuff all the time.
It could be worse. You could be old school and you're like, you hit the play button, you go through your 30-minute video and you realize that it didn't actually record shite.
Hell, that happens to me when I'm on the phone with somebody. The phone hangs up and I don't know it, and I have a conversation for the next 7 minutes, and then I'm like, hey, asshole, why don't you respond? And I look at my phone and I'm like, there's nobody there.
Well, it sounds like customer service. Like, why didn't you?
Yeah.
Who are you? You didn't say anything for 30 minutes. I was letting you finish your rant
right
first. I wanted to make sure I got all the details.
Well, that space behind McFly that you saw that was like just wall or whatever, I couldn't stand it. So there's going to be like a couple little arcades right there.
Oh, there you go.
And so he's going to have his own legit, because he's an 80s kid. Like, this is a kid that if we were the same age, if he was born back then, him and I would be best friends all day long.
So you need to get him I have seen him around on eBay in various places. The old Atari signs, but you can get them in neon.
Yeah. And I'm after I see what the little arcades look like, because he got a Simpson one and a Street Fighter one, and it's got like 1955, the airplane game, and it's got like all these cool older games like that he will love. Like, he loves that stuff.
Pac-Man.
Oh man, he loves all that stuff. There's a really cool, like, full-on bright yellow Pac-Man, which I would love to get that baby bluish Simpson arcade right next to the big old yellow Pac-Man.
There was another
you getting it for him or for you?
For him.
Pac-Man.
All right, hold on. Hold on, I'm gonna restart this one real quick. Hold on, I'm gonna restart.
All right, man.
Sorry about that, everybody. We're gonna restart just real quick, just because I'll just be tired in the damn morning. I will just be tired. I choose to just be tired. I know none of y'all care. Did that not? Let's see. Make sure I copied the right one. All right, there we go. Rub it off. But we'll go for another 15. But yeah, his little setup, I can't wait to see some of the stuff that he makes, because it's so cool. But yeah, he sacrificed his birthday party and going to Disney for a YouTube setup.
Priorities.
I mean, look, like I said, I was telling Phil, I said, if the worst thing that happens is the kid learns to code, learns to produce, learns some work ethic and all kinds of those other things, I'm good with it. And then if he doesn't like it, he tried.
You find
So
something.
this is the age that
that the effort, work that goes into it, and he enjoys it. That, I mean, you're generating a work ethic.
Right, which I care way more about that than anything else. I always tell my kids, I don't care about your results as much as I care about your effort.
Yeah, I mean,
I tell my kids
down
the
the
same.
line, he decides he wants, by the time he turns 15, he decides he wants to be a geologist. but he still has that ethic in it.
Yeah, and he's learning production value. He's learning to speak with, because people don't realize how intimidating it is at first to actually speak to a camera, and how awkward it is, and how strange and foreign. Like, I mean, it's just, it's like I liken it to like the first time somebody talks when they get a retainer in their mouth. Like all of a sudden, like they just talk really funny and everything, but then eventually all of a sudden they talk normal, and that's just a process of getting used to it.
One
I've
thing,
been making YouTube videos for 10 years, and I still feel like an idiot every time I get in front of a camera.
I mean, John and I talked about this off and on for years, and John filmed everything looking at a lens.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, dude, you need to try, because I was the same way. Even with a photography background, I hated being in front of the lens.
Yep.
But as soon as we had smartphones, that made it so much easier. Even though it's your own face, you can look at the eyes and you're not, getting all into yourself. But there's a face that you can feed back off of.
Absolutely. Now, granted, it does, unfortunately, off-center your eyes, and so you're not talking to your audience.
Off to the left or up or down or whatever.
And, and I tried to do that with the camera, where I could flip up the screen so he could monitor if he was in camera frame and everything. And I don't even do that. Like, I have a problem, like, because if I'm sitting here staring at the camera and the monitor is above it, I will look up at the monitor constantly. And so what I do is I don't use it. I just flat out will not use it. Like I have my computer screens and I'll read stuff and things like that, but I interact directly here, because if I have something else to look at, my eyes will get drawn to it. So I cut it out altogether. McFly had the same problem.
I don't mind looking at myself.
I have your guys' faces all over the screen that I can look at and talk to. If I'm just talking to myself, I'm looking at the image and the camera's over here.
Hey,
I don't mind talking to myself with looking in the camera, because I know I'm going to agree with myself. So yeah, it's all good.
No, but it does make it easier when you have a
live?
visual reference, a face to interact with, even if it's your own.
I don't care. Hold on a second.
Instead of just a blank lens.
Well, yeah, and I mean, like, and it's something you have to get used to, because, like, I always just call it the Eye of Sauron, is what I do.
Yeah.
And it makes it much easier for me to just focus on it at that point, because if you think of it as an eye, it's much easier to give attention, and it's very, very difficult at first.
It's the same thing I tell people that have never done a video. I said, use your smartphone. Look at your own eyes. Look at your own face. Talk to that
I hear you.
instead of looking at the lens. Once you get comfortable in it, then you know where to look. You have to look over here or whatever. And
I wonder, do y'all hear the wife at all when she talks?
Hey.
No.
Yeah.
Did you hear?
Hi, everybody.
What?
Can you hear me?
Your wife?
Scheisse.
Oh, they probably can't. They probably can't hear you because of the Bluetooth.
Probably not. Yeah,
that's okay.
Could be.
What'd you get in trouble for this time, Martin?
Nothing. I'm trying to. I'm working on my 10-year plan there, Mike. She's off working her ass off so that way she can get those promotions.
It's the Wizard of Oz. It's the great Oz behind the screen, this floating head, the dark background.
Oh, I don't know why it disconnected the Bluetooth, but yeah, she can hear you guys. You guys just can't hear her. Which is kind of, I mean, it's very fascinating. Yeah.
Probably a saving grace for you.
Oh, well, I mean, I don't care. Y'all would have more fun talking to her than me anyway, so I ain't worried about it.
How you doing, Mike?
Y'all can't hear her, so while she talks trash about me, y'all are just missing out on the good jokes.
That's funny.
That's just how that goes.
I don't know if they're
if
trying
you're
to
gonna
say
do that black background, you need to just really enlarge your head.
Oh, so like I need to get one of those filters that Mike from Briar Blues uses?
No, because right now Mike's in black or dark, and he's got this black background.
But that's normal. It's like black and white.
Yeah.
As long as he just doesn't do the freaky weird clown, I can pass on that.
No, that's not running right now.
Oh, thank God. Yeah, Willie, it's the it's that Roadcaster too.
I have to send you, Mike and Glenn. You were standing between Glenn and somebody else and looking at pipes and stuff, and I had to do several exposures because Mike's hair is so white, even in a lit room. I had the white balance on his hair.
Oh, that's mean.
And I have one of GOP's holding a pipe, like looking at it like this.
He's only kicking me because I'm down right now, but I know his address.
Oh, yikes. That's how it goes. That's all right.
I mean, Mike's up north. I mean, if anybody's down, it's me. I'm in quote unquote Northern California, so.
Mike, I got the gimbal in. Does it work with DSLRs or is it just cell phones?
Cell phones.
Oh, I'm getting one for the big cameras.
If it can fit on a DSLR, it'll work.
It might open up big enough. I don't know, Martin. Hell, I couldn't get the thing to work the way I want to do because there's too many buttons and stuff. I like it simple.
Yeah.
I just hear pin this
You have to adjust them to whatever device you put on it. You have to balance them out.
Thank you.
What? They're not automatic?
No. You have to balance them out.
Does your DSLR have Bluetooth?
It does.
Then it should be able to hook up with the gimbal.
And it has Wi-Fi. I think it has Bluetooth. I know it has Wi-Fi.
Yeah, if it falls off the gimbal and breaks, well, then you figured it out.
Oh, great. Wonderful. Wow.
It'll only do it once.
Yikes.
It'll only do it once.
As long as the iPhone doesn't hit the concrete and you hear that crack noise.
I don't care about the iPhone. I care about the DSLR.
Don't worry, Martin. It'll only fall once.
Derek. That's why I thought the gimbal might come in handy.
Well, yeah, no, I think it could too. We've got a couple of cell phone ones. I just didn't have any.
Take some kung fu classes and learn to walk on rice paper without breaking it. You know, you can float along like a ninja.
Yeah, good luck
Does
there.
it have one of them follow your face kind of functions on it?
It does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that opens it up to a whole load of fun.
Yeah. Well, I kind of want to test running. Hey, Sam, I kind of want to run the test of at the Muletown with the higher end cameras.
Oh, yeah.
To see what I can do. Because that's just me.
There's a guy.
How about
There's a guy wandering around at
for cameras before the higher ends?
There's a guy wandering around the Vegas show with a DSLR on a gimbal.
Yep.
Yeah.
I did notice that.
And they're cool. Like there's some cool
to
ones.
see what Peter Piper does. Peter Piper had this. He was showing me and Jose one night this little oval thing like 4 inches long, and then I thought I understood what he was
Don't
talking
say any
about.
more, Phil. You've dug your own grave.
Yeah.
No, but the next day he was out on the floor and he had this carbon fiber pole that stretches out like freaking 20 feet. Weighs nothing, but it films in 360 degrees, and then when you do
really?
it, you can
Now you
focus
tell
on
me.
any point, and it's all flat. It doesn't look like a fish.
Now you tell me.
There are things that people have seen, Glenn, that they will not be able to unsee now.
You know, Peter's going to break the golden rule, man, and that is what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
I mean, I'm interested to see what Peter produces with this. I mean, because that little piece of technology is like $1,000. Then you have to buy this lens or this cover, or whatever. But I'm waiting to see what he produces with that, because it's basically at the 360 degree fisheye, but a princess flat as we're looking at here at each other.
Hold on one second, guys. Y'all go ahead. I got to talk to my wife real quick for something. You got to tell me what the hell I'm supposed to do in the morning. Y'all keep going.
Size B control tops.
Yeah, it's funny, you can get these cameras that are filming 360-degree view now, but you can't see in 360-degree view.
Yeah, I mean that's what amazes me. Even as with the photography background, like, how the fuck do you do that? Because we all know that 7-8 millimeter fisheye lenses how they distort, but this apparently has the ability in the software. It prints flat. So somehow
That's,
in
software-wise, as long as you know what the distortion values are for the various pixels, it's really easy to flatten that.
Yeah, that's what I say. Like even Photoshop, you could account for certain lenses, certain specific models of lenses. But apparently, this is the same thing. It's built into the software, and it flattens everything in video, not just stills, but video. So it accounts for that, and it compensates.
Because I noticed the footage I took with the GoPro, it fished-eyed it a little bit, which, I mean, for my setup, I have as basic can be, so I couldn't do anything with it. What you get is what you get. So, but I found the GoPro was good because I tend to shake a little bit, and the stabilizer in it seems to even that out. So that was good.
I'm about this close to trading in my Asahi Pentax 500 millimeter lens, my 5D, and a couple lenses for a Fuji X-T1,
which is
a mirrorless camera, and the 5D is a full frame, and the Asahi Pentax is old school. It's like 18 pounds and 18 inches. Prime lens back in the day, and back in the day when nobody had image stabilization or any of that, so I give a lot of kudos to sports photographers and stuff back in the day, because that's how we did it,
Yeah, Chadwick.
There's Chadster in.
Yeah.
How's everybody doing?
Yeah, good, man. Sweating in places I shouldn't sweat. But
yeah,
that's not a problem where I'm sitting.
Well, see,
I guess not.
Is quite literally polar opposite. I'm starting to freeze in places I don't normally freeze, and plants sweating in places.
It's
snowing.
Yeah, I'm looking at snow right now.
Oh yeah.
Well, in my opinion, that's doing it wrong, Sam.
But you go out and get used to it, and then when it's sub-zero, it doesn't feel bad.
It's amazing what the human can get used to.
Given enough time. Yeah.
I just wanted to stop in and say hi. Is Martin even here?
Yeah, he's on a phone call with a shopping list or honey-do list right now.
That's pouring on me at the moment.
Yeah, look
nice.
Glenn, you're not going to believe this. After trying to get this holiday all figured out,
right?
Ja threw me a left curve. She says, "What's Australia like this time of year?"
Let's go find out. No better time than the present. Literally.
You can tell here today in Brisbane it's 32 degrees Celsius.
I told her it's hotter than Mexico. And the eyes perked up.
You can tell her that the last night on the news, they said that the ocean temperature was 22 degrees Celsius. So perfect for swimming.
Yeah, that's about 90 Fahrenheit, right at it.
No.
Nah, not that hot.
You just never know, Glenn.
88.
No, 22's around about 72, 73.
Yeah.
I thought you said 32.
No, that'd be like a tepid bath.
Yeah.
So when are you coming over, Mike?
I'm still working on planning, but you never know, Glenn.
Well, you know, there's good coffee here.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome to drop in and have a cup.
All right, I'm back. The wife's going to join the chat.
Isn't she working?
First off, she's an accountant. Do I have to say anything else?
So she works when she want to work.
Yeah, she's in a Uber right now on the way to the hotel to DuPont. I'm probably
As in Washington?
no
Like DuPont Circle?
down in Wilmington.
Ah,
So the DuPont company. So she works for Deloitte.
Wilmington.
oh, okay.
Does Katrine work
Wilmington,
for Deloitte?
Delaware. What's that, Phil or Mike?
Katrine works for Deloitte?
She does.
Really?
She absolutely does. She's a CPA.
Yeah, the accountant that we got rid of for
They're pretty.
not great books was trained by Deloitte.
Nice. I mean, it's the biggest accounting firm, you know, in the world. So I mean, it's
Wilmington, what state?
Delaware.
Delaware.
That's where all the companies incorporate. There in South Dakota and Nevada.
That's right.
Well, what state are you in, Martin? I've never found that out.
We're in Georgia.
Georgia,
No,
okay.
You're in the state of confusion.
We are. I mean,
no, the state of runoff.
Tell me about the state of confusion at 5 o'clock in the morning when I'm getting McFly ready for school. That's the state of confusion.
All about your choices.
Go Herschel Walker.
God. What was
Herschel Walker Herschel Walker was an all-star back in my day in high school.
I think the worst thing that could happen to the Republican Party right now would be if they were in the Senate and the House and had them both at the same time in control. Because things are not going to be getting much better the next couple of years. So I'd be curious what they would run on next.
The Republicans have the House pretty much. Senate, I doubt it, but
Didn't they call Nevada for the Democrats?
Well, at least what we have is checks and balances.
That only works when you're doing something.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, the nice thing is they all have cover for the next 2 years to not do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now they have an excuse. They can blame each other.
Exactly.
That's the same excuse they've had since 1789.
Yeah, I was going to say that's SOP, standard operating procedure.
Well, Glenn also made me think a little bit too, talking about a multi-party system, and it's like, what stops a multi-party? Like, if you have 3 parties, what stops 2 parties from getting together to block?
Well, sometimes they do. It's called a coalition.
Human nature.
Yeah, it's called Look at Canada, Merton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Australia, not only do you have 3 different parties, you actually have 4, plus you have independents.
So I guess
it can be a right mess.
So I guess.
I mean, if the third party had a chance to go for it, they should have started with the mandates. I was like, where are the third party candidates right now? Now is their opportunity to make their point. Not one of them said shit. The only place we had a third party candidate pop up was in Georgia. And he buggered the election one way or the other.
Well, the 2 things that I think are going to be the biggest issue for Republicans that they don't have that same Democrat Party doesn't have the same problem as the Republican Party doesn't. God, rarely will ever go just party line, and there was such a with Donald Trump in there running his mouth and everything else. It's not helping when he's got certain candidates that the Republican Party doesn't want to support, and then vice versa, they're not supporting other Republican candidates that Donald Trump didn't pick. And so it's it's becoming such a divide that basically it's just counterproductive.
Yeah. But you have to admit that Trump appointed more conservative constitutional judges than any other president's been able to appoint. And now a lot of the Biden mandates or executive orders are being shot down day after day.
Right, but it doesn't always go his favor either. So,
No.
that's the other thing is the expectation.
What I'm saying is the people he appointed as judges got in, they're holding to the the letter of the law. And a lot of these mandates and executive orders are being like, no, you can't do that shit.
Sure.
Hey, Katrine.
Hi, how are you?
I'm hanging in. How are you?
Hi, Katrine.
Doing all right. Heading to the hotel. Hey.
Hello, Katrine.
Right. I just ordered some pizza and cheesecake.
Nice.
Why not?
There you go.
There
you go.
Nice having an expense account, isn't it?
It is.
It's such crap. I get so it's such garbage. I'll sit there and talk about the expenses that I have to do, and all my receipts I'm keeping up with it. She's like, yeah, I blew $200 on whatever. She's like,
receipt unless my food is over 100 or it's over 100 a person or over 1,000 on the check, and the only receipt I really need is my hotel, but that auto imports if I drag it.
My company will gig me if it's a Happy Meal.
Tell them, I had lobster and freaking Oreos.
They don't care.
They don't care. Mike said his accountant got trained over at Deloitte.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then we found out he was doctoring the books in his favor, and he got he's getting sentenced this month.
Good.
So what happens to the revenue? They're going to order him to pay it back, which he never will.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be worse. You could be in cryptocurrency, Mike, and have a bunch of money in FTX.
True.
No, he was a wunderkind.
Oh yes.
Wonder Kid. Yeah, Wonder Child.
That should be McFly's channel. McFly, the Wonder Kid. Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, with the FTX thing, God, that boggles my mind. I still can't wrap my head around crypto because I'm like, okay. I was telling the wife this. I was like, I know my generation is probably primed for this. They primed the pump hard.
Yeah.
Very much with arcades. The idea of taking fiat currency and having some exchange currency is no different than going to a casino or an arcade where you get tokens and chips.
I mean, it's interesting, but there's no guarantee. There's no security there. You might as well just go throw it on the craps table.
What gets me is that they can pull something of worth out of nothing, and there's nothing tangible there.
But it takes something tangible to invest in it.
But wait a minute.
Then they give you this speculative, imaginary bullshit that you have.
What goes into those cryptocurrencies? The blockchain computations.
For sure.
Do all the bookkeeping and all that kind of stuff is how you mine all of it. You have to do all of that work. That uses electricity. Electricity costs money.
Yeah.
So there's actually things being expended to create that value. Even then, though, it's to me, it's fool's gold.
Well, but not only that, but you have some currencies that don't mine, like Ethereum stopped mining, so that one no longer is proof of work or whatever. Because there's different ones for different things. But ultimately, what they boil down to is just an inflation process. That's really all they're trying to do. They're trying to capitalize on the inflation of it, which is why And here's the other thing. It's like when you boil down, because one of our good friends of the family is very actually big into this, and he is loaded. The decimal places on the currency go to 9 digits, 9 zeros. You can get to 9 zeros on these things.
Yep.
And I'm like, so wrapping my brain around the 9 zeros thing, I'm like, is this just the scam from Office Space where they were just trying to bleed out like the 2 cents for every transaction? I mean, because like he's like, they're fractions of cents. Who's gonna notice? And I'm like, God, we're way beyond fractions of cents.
Yeah, I mean that exactly the way you said it there, Martin, is what I was thinking. I mean, you're like wish rich, you know.
Right.
You invested hard-earned blood, sweat, money in this for something tangible into something that's ethereal.
Now, is the technology worth something? Absolutely. Blockchain is amazing. Now, but saying blockchain is amazing is like saying, like, you know, a specific type of combustion engine is amazing. But if it's a bunch of morons that install the engine, then the car blows up. So just because you have
you said, a whole bunch of computer geeks sat around one night and said, "Oh, smoking a joint and having a beer," and said, "Dude, I've got the ultimate pyramid."
Well, I mean, they're not saying pyramid, but technically they're still saying the same thing now. That's why there's like over 9,000 crypto coins tokens sitting out there you can get. But
then I see guys like Ben Shapiro promoting Bitcoin. I was like, what the? Let me bitch slap you back to Doc out.
Well, I think the ultimate reality is that it's being, especially like, for instance, like Bitcoin, because it was the maiden one that started out, like, you are having so much adoption of it that it is not going away.
I mean, the bottom line, people are tired all over the world. They're tired of the powers that be. And so they're willing to hedge their bets against something ethereal, something that's not tangible. And to me, it just shows the frustration of the people in the world.
Right. But the amount of interest in it is amazing, since you had companies like BlackRock just take a big loss from their investment in FTX. The guy from Shark Tank, not the Mark Cuban, but the other guy, Mr. Wonderful. Like, you have a bunch of big institutions. They have 140 or 100 and 120 or 30,000 creditors, which forget anybody getting their money at that point, and then another 100 big financial institutions like BlackRock, and somebody's going to get their money.
These guys have all hedged their bets, and they have a redundancy plan.
That's why FTX thought they were going to get a bailout.
Oh,
is because
for sure
all of these big companies, you know, can't fail, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, for sure. But the thing is that it's completely unregulated. And so they're not going to bail anything out that's A, unregulated, and B, that they basically cook their books by because the way it works is it's a ledger. And what's so fascinating to me about it is that it's very much like an old school style of an operation with a futuristic version. So everything's on a ledger. But like the guy that ran FTX, like you didn't see anything crazy on his ledger. But if you went and saw what the company was doing with all the money that got put in, well, then all of a sudden now we see, in which that's why the company Binance went and actually put a bid in. And I think there's two main theories of thought. Binance knew that there is a whole bunch of them out there cooking the books and just moving the money around to inflate what their asset value is. And so put in a bid to get access to audit it.
I mean, it's kind of like Twitter stock values. They were ridiculously overpriced and never turned a profit.
But that's not uncommon in a lot of companies. There's a lot of companies that have stock prices out there that don't turn profits. But the other thing was too is it was either they knew that there was a whole series of these different exchanges doing this, and so they decided to take them all down and start reducing the competition, or they honestly were trying to buy it and then saw what it was there and was like, oh, this is a freaking disaster. One way or the other.
Bottom line is whatever their initial intent was or the outcome of it, they forced governments to rethink things.
Oh yeah, because the government's in on Bitcoin.
Yeah,
lots of governments are in on Bitcoin. So we'll see, but it's not going away.
Was because the Bitcoin thing to me, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not an economics financial kind of thing, but it almost seems like it gets traded as like a commodity.
They're trying to not make it a commodity because then that would hit certain tax parameters.
And then it'd be regulated.
Correct.
Yeah, but it seems like it's being bet on like commodities are being bet on. And when the financial system becomes a commodity like that, I think that's dangerous.
So the way that they were trying to design it was a motive of transferring, and again, this is why these are exchanges, no different than if you take money and you go get yen because you're about to go take a vacation. You're going to pay a fee to exchange that money, and you're going to have that. Or people that trade currencies, that happens too. But they don't even want it to be called a currency either. Really not even much of anything to be considered even an asset. Essentially, what they want it to be is a transportation unit for the money you've put in. And that token is the motive of transportation of that currency.
That becomes a national security issue for most governments.
It is. Government. There's a lot of governments that are, that crack on that.
All of a sudden, now you're like, no, wait a minute, because you're going to destabilize governments.
Oh, well,
It makes it sound like promissory notes from the Knights Templar, and what happened to them?
Yeah. Got wiped out.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, you're looking at a bunch of IOUs, which are, again, the IOU is not technically it's not a note. It's not a note of currency.
The agreement to pay or honor the note is only as good as the person's word.
Right.
That signed it. I mean, and you can go to dealing with China for years. They'll sign multi-million-dollar contracts with you, and then they'll say, "Hey,
right,
come get me."
But like Chad, one of the physical, like if you wanted a physical form of what these are, the best example, and I gave it earlier, is like going to a casino and getting chips. The chips have no actual value themselves outside of said casino, but it is a motive of utilizing your currency, and the chips are basically the transport of your currency. And therefore you cash out at the end of the night, and then you have your currency. And so,
I mean, you look at most retailers. How many retailers do you see accepting Bitcoin?
Right. The whole point of crypto is anonymity. They want to be able to exchange in any form of fashion.
And your local fentanyl dealer will take it.
You 100%.
And therein lies the national security problem, anonymity. They want to account for everyone.
Wait, who's trying to fool me in here? Wouldn't surprise Martin. Nothing surprises me, Patrick. I am unsurprisable, and I hate surprises. But yeah, I mean, it's just funky. It's weird. It's funky. I don't think it's going anywhere. I'd be curious to see what kind of regulation occurs, because you got big companies that now want it regulated. They make enough money off regulation.
I think my prediction, and I'm not an economist or anything, but there's nothing tangible. There's no security in it. It's just basically a handshake and a gentleman's agreement, virtually, literally.
Sure. Which we have other forms of that right now too. You have things like NFTs. So these tokens you could consider an asset because you did purchase it and you own it. Not only that, but like if you go into the meta, like Sandbox, if you want to pay 100,000 Ethereum to sit next to Snoop Dogg in the virtual world, you can do that.
Yeah,
And
deep.
it's very deep. And, you know, obviously Mark Zuckerberg has lost a ridiculous amount on that
Any
venture.
government that's invested in it, I think if the government's invested in it, they invested in it so they could get an insight on what's actually going on, so they could pass regulations or bills or laws.
The scary thing about it to me is the same situation we have gotten into with social media with Section 230. You had a bunch of guys and gals in Congress and the House writing laws with zero idea of what it would do or what it was capable of, and now it's in a fairly uncontrollable state, and even in most situations now can actually leverage the government if they choose to. And
actually, right now it's flashing back on them.
Right, it absolutely is, and that's the danger of people putting things into law. Like, you don't have a bunch of coders up there in Washington that are going to make laws and regulations around the crypto stuff. And I think that's pretty dangerous.
And they don't teach this in history anymore, but back in our days, all of our days, and even in history class, whatever, is the government doesn't produce shit. We produce shit that the government claims notoriety for.
But it'll be interesting. I'm gonna dabble into it just because of my curiosity.
It's interesting to the point that you're not one of those guys that ends up being screwed.
Yeah, you never. I don't give financial advice, but I would never put in more of anything that I couldn't lose. Like, never. What do they say? Don't ever bet the house.
You don't spend more than you can afford to lose.
It seems to me like the potential is there of this being an incredible, dangerous, multipolar trap kind of situation.
Absolutely.
Where there are positives that could occur, but there are lots more negatives that could occur.
Yes.
But in order to chase those positives, I know I shouldn't do it, but if that guy's going to do it anyway, then I'm forced to do it.
Sure.
To try to beat that guy, especially when it comes to countries.
Oh yeah. And again, like I said,
I agree with you, Chad. I think, and that's kind of what I was trying to get at is, if the governments have invested in it, it's either one of two reasons. It's a tactical reason to learn the insides of it, or it's because they actually think it may take off and they want to be. Either way, it's a win-win for them. Even if they lose money, it's a win-win for them.
Oh, for sure. But I mean, ultimately, again, the blockchain, the technology is amazing. No different than a Cobra engine is amazing. But if the guy installing the engine is a moron, just like if the developer is a moron and doesn't code it correctly, it's all for naught anyways. So as much as they always want to say, rely on the fact that the technology is awesome, I'm like, yeah, but what about the person that's installing it?
Well, the guy who designed or installed it could be a blooming genius, but the guy who hired her or contracted him could have ill intent.
Oh, yeah. All right, guys, we're running out on time. I appreciate y'all. Chad, you look like you're doing better. I appreciate you hopping on here. Sam, you too. Phil. Wife, call me later. Call me.
Good night, Mike.
Good to see everybody.
Good to see you guys.
Sam.
Bye.
Bye.
I like that she chimes in at the very end. Oh, man. There she's calling me. It's like, I love how she's calling me. And I'm like, the show ain't over. The show ain't over, lady. How are you calling me? And I'm just now closing the show down. Good Lord. Night, everybody. It was great to see all of you. Appreciate y'all jumping in. We ran a lot later. Tomorrow I'm going to try and start on time. We'll see. Try to get there. Again, no show on Wednesday. Thursday, we're back to it. So please make sure any of y'all liking to doing the Zooms. We're going to keep doing the Zooms, probably especially with the wife out, because I don't have enough brain power after dealing with the homework and everything during the day with the boy to come up with much. Oh, thanks a lot. That's so nice of you. So we'll great talk. I appreciate it. I know it probably was boring with the whole crypto thing. I think it is fascinating, but you know, we'll try and make sure we change it up as always. And if you got any topics you want to talk about, feel free to chime in. You know, anytime you want to, !ask. We're here. Look at that Bitcoin dice. Roll the dice, baby. Woo! All right, everybody. Whew. I tell you, tomorrow morning's gonna suck. Oh man. All right, everybody. We will see y'all tomorrow for sure. Y'all be good out there. Oh, shut up, Flipper. I hope you choke on a snail. Not Ganj, Flipper.